I'm not really sure if it's going to compliment me or not, but let's give it a try. Welcome to the call, ladies. Layla Black. I am really excited. If I drop out for whatever reason, I've got the backup super women on the line ready to take over, and I'll get back on as soon as I can. But I'm really excited for today's call. It kind of happened as a twist of fate, and I believe that things happen for a reason in life. I believe that nothing really is an accident. Even the most terrible things that we think happen to us, they'll serve a purpose. So today's topic kind of fell into place like that. Uh-oh, did we lose Layla? I think so. One more. Alecia, is that you? This is me, Alecia, yes. Yes, hi. Okay, well, everybody, this is Monet, as you didn't know. And I'm sure what Layla had to say was going to be awesome, so I hope she pops back on in a second here. But in the meantime, we're going to hear from an awesome superwoman who has such a powerful story. She is an awesome mom, and I don't even want to say too much because it won't even do justice to how amazing this woman is, and I just want her to go ahead and take it away. So, Alecia Stringer, it's all yours. Oh, thank you, Monet. I know this topic that Layla was talking about was really kind of came together last minute to put together. She started with saying, I can't get on the call, and I really recommend you doing it. Can you just take it off and storm? And I was like, really, I've been trying to read some books and really study, and I was like, what do I need to do? And she's like, really, here's the topic, depending on others or creating it yourself. I was like, oh my goodness, this is so me. And we've got to cultivate our garden, ladies. We can't depend on other success. And I feel like, we love so many other people, but we have to create our own. And how do we create our own success, be our own person? Because there's so many ways in our own roles as women. We want to, recommend, and we need to recognize the men's leadership and stand against the men and what they represent, because there's so many men in this business that have so much high leadership in what they're doing and what we can learn from that we need to cultivate that and use it in our own garden and make it our own vineyard. So what I wanted to share was making sure, Alecia, okay, before you share, sorry about that. I'll tell you about that. I was going over a hill or something, but I'm harder to see now, so it's not good. But I did just want to give you a little bit of an introduction, Alecia, because, it was interesting when I was thinking about this topic. I was thinking about it yesterday, and there's so many different ways that you could pursue it or that you could approach it. But I was thinking about, depending on other people for your success, as we often do. We kind of, from birth, we depend on someone else. We depend on our parents. We depend on our teachers. We depend on our friends. We depend on our family. And in business, it's very similar. You try to mentor a team or a leadership, and you can become dependent, or in a relationship, whatever it might be. Or as opposed to taking complete ownership and controlling your own destiny and creating your own success in front of you. And I reached out to Debbie, because I've been working with Debbie on a couple of other things, and I was like, hey, would you like to talk about this topic? And she messaged me late last night, and she said, oh my God, she's got the 9 to 5 duty still that she's running, and she couldn't get away. But she recommended Alecia. And then I thought about it, and I was like, you know what? This is actually, I think it's meant to happen. I think it was meant to be your topic. I think it was meant to be something that we shared and spoke about. And now everything seems to happen all as it was supposed to. And here you are, because I know that I've been inspired by you, especially over the last few weeks. And just seeing you make that decision, seeing you make that choice in your life for yourself and your daughter, it's just been, it's inspiring. inspiring and powerful, and I just can't wait for you to share it. So I will get myself out of the way and pass it over to you, Alecia, but I just had to share that bit of serendipitous story that happened beforehand. Thank you, Layla. I am so honored. I'm so honored to be in front of you ladies and all the support you guys have given me. Because this is really kind of where I've been taking directions when you've got to take action. You can't depend on others. And I'm really going, where can I study my emotions? Because that is where, you cultivate your action. It's from the emotions you create. And if you want to study a book on emotions, there are several books that talk about that. And I'm going to go over one with Awaken the Giant Within by Anthony Robbins. And there's really lots of action signals that he gives through the emotions, and positive and negative. But I'm going to take apart the negative, I guess, right now, because it seems like we wanted the bad first, right? And maybe next time we go over the positive. But this is something that I think a golden nugget that anybody can share, that whenever they're learning and reading, they give more value out to others when you are able to learn something, cultivate what you are reading and apply it, share it with others. That's what a powerful teacher is, and that's how we cultivate our value. So I'm going to go over, everybody should know all of these emotions. So I'm not really going to go over that, but I'm going to cover the solutions from having these emotions. I think we need to really clarify and know what to do when we have these emotions, so we can be able to, move forward and not depend on others, and really create your own success in life and where you want to be focused on going with your goals and your team's goals. So write down 1 through 10. I'm going to list them all, and then I'm going to go through them. So number 1 being discomfort, 2, fear, 3, hurt, 4, anger, 5, frustration, 6, disappointment, 7, guilt, 8, inadequacy, 9, overload and overwhelm, and 10, loneliness. These are just downright, I've been through a lot of these, and I think most of us have these experiences. So when you guys and think of number 1 on discomfort, when you're in that environment, you're really truly discomforted. What can you do to take action from having that emotion? These are not pleasant emotions. What do you need to do to create your own success, so you're not dependent on, others in this emotion that you're going through? And you really need to take that discomfort and clarify exactly what you want. You need to visualize. You need to put that, maybe try a different approach to that discomfort that you're feeling. There's so many ways to go through. I'm going to try to go pretty fast, so because I'm some of the fastest talker. Number 2 is fear, and there's so many parts of fear when you're looking at it, but you really have to really use that feeling. And I've learned from fear a lot from the Bible too. When fear is taken to effect, you're going through different feelings of that, and you have to really take faith of what actions you need to do to take and deal with it. So when you're going through the discomfort of fear, what the solution is to review that feeling, and why am I fearful? What faith do you have to move forward to get out of that solution, that fear that you have, to move forward, to take action, to cultivate it, create it yourself? And that is very powerful, because we all have fear of lots of things, and because I think we're Alecia gets through a lot of fears, and taking that action to review that feeling, know what that feeling is, you know how to deal with it. Number 3 is hurt or loss. And some may think, when you truly lose something, or you're in loss, it might be a false perception. So you might want to look at it and say, did I judge too soon that was really hurtful? You know what? You might want to really communicate that feeling of how did that hurt you, and why did you feel that hurt in yourself? So taking that action, that solution from the hurtness is, will you look at what you were hurt from, and always kind of try to look to figure those negative emotions to make it into positive and to how you can cultivate that loss or hurt into your own. And going into number 4, I think number 4 and 5 is really similar. Anger and frustration. When you have that anger, did you really misinterpret that? Did you look at it a different way? And when you have that anger, you got to change it. What can I learn from that anger, that behavior, to be able to create your own self? You can't depend on that feeling. You've got to create it on your own. You've got to change. You've got to go through a procedure and change that behavior. Because there's so many ways you can get angry at something, and there's good reasons to be angry, angry at different things that you're doing or what happens. I mean, Jesus said angry in the Bible. So there's things that you have to be angry for, but you have to learn from that anger to know how to change it. What can you learn from it? What is the procedure you need to go from being angry to making that into a positive, to focus on where the direction needs to go? And number 5, the frustration is kind of the same way. So I think they have the same feeling, I guess, on that. You've got to brainstorm a new result. You can't be stuck in that frustration when the image just will not show up. On the website, what do I need to do? Or what happened in Facebook? They blocked me again. You feel that frustration so easy that you take that and what can I learn from that? Ask yourself that positive question and create your own success out of this frustration. I was here for a reason, and I'm going to work myself out of it and always cultivate that change in the frustration. So I think when you're in set that motion or anger or frustration, that's the question. What can I learn from this? What can I change from that? And number 6, disappointment. When disappointment is kind of something you learn for a future achievement, and you haven't reached that goal, and you've got to work on being in a positive ecstasy on making sure it's something that's clear. So always don't get stuck on that disappointment because we depended on someone else's success. We depended on our team too much. You've got to create your own success so your team will be able to follow you. And that is so, so important to know that you've got to stand on your own. You can't depend on anything else because you've got that disappointment on your own self. You've got to get out of that. And number 7, the guilt. This is really when you have this guilt emotion, you've got to find a way to acknowledge it. Because you've got to, when you're sitting in this guilt, and I think this when they kind of come into that, you've got to commit yourself that will never happen again. In order to commit yourself, you have to rehearse that in your mind. You have to visualize, this will never happen again. Just set a clear visualization goal that I will never have to depend on anybody else. I am going to create this myself. I'm not going to sit in my wallow in guilt. And rehearse that in your mind. Visualize that you will never have to sit at that moment again because you have created something that's on a next mental level that you're going to sit in and cultivate in your own level on there. So that's really just kind of, when you're in that guilt, you have to visualize to get out of that and rehearse that over and over. And number 8, the inadequacy. This is kind of, some people stand when you feel unworthy, and you really have to approach it and ask yourself, what do I need to change? It's the encouragement of, what's a role model that I need to look forward to that maybe is successful, that I may need to look on and really study and make sure what did they do to keep that high quality that you look forward to, because people are attracted to that quality. They don't have unworthiness because they are such on a higher pedestal you might look at, because they don't have that inadequacy on there. They have such a higher value that you perceive of. So look at yourself as a higher value to get yourself out of that unworthiness mindset and the inadequacy. So always look at the specific characteristics and write those down, and that is so key on how you can create your own success from the characters of others. What kind of character can you apply to your life? And number 9, overload and overwhelm. This is so easy to get in this industry when we're marketing online. We have all these different strategies that we want to do. We want to do videos, we want to do Facebook, we want to do Craigslist, and there's so many different ways I want to get out there and meet up groups. And it's so easy to get overwhelmed with what is the most important. What will really be more successful? They've got this next cool tool or, thing that's out, and it looks really neat, but you've really got to decide what is important and write that down and just tackle it. Let everything else go and understand that you want to have this in place because you don't want to depend on anybody else. You've already said that this overwhelm, this overload will not deter you back on sitting back where you were. So create your own success by knowing what's the most important thing that you've got to focus on. And number 10, loneliness. It's so easy to feel lonely when you are the entrepreneur doing this on your own. And there is no reason, no excuse to be lonely when you have powerful superwomen that come out once a day, every day of the week, to reach out and care for each other. All morning, we tag each other in our pictures and videos, and we get ready for the superwoman call, reach out, tag each other, say that you care for them, mention them in their comments. This loneliness, there's no excuse to get out of it. There's so many solutions to get out of. You got to identify what kind of connection that you want to take out there to others, and really listen to why people would feel lonely in this business, because there's so many connections that we have to take and to talk to each other and really truly be loved and grateful for one another. And so when you're sitting in a loneliness, you might be sitting in your room by yourself, but knowing that there's so many ways to make so many more connections, and be grateful for that. So when you're sitting in loneliness, the solution is truly be grateful for what you have and identify that and take action with it. Tell people that you are grateful and move forward in those emotions that you feel to get out of the stuckness that we have. So when we're identifying all these different ways that we can depend on others and through these horrible actions and feelings that we take, you need to take action in finding the solution to create that yourself. What can you do? Always ask this powerful, positive question to breathe more into power. And I love how they go into 10 more emotions of power. And so you have to read the book for this next list, because those are pretty exciting too. To take more and more of the stuff emotions. But here's what it's too easy to swallow, and these emotions here that, these action signals that trigger us to stay down so much longer, that we really have to pull those solutions out so much stronger than these negative ones, to the disgust, fear, hurt, and anger, frustration, and disappointment, and guilt, and that overall emotions. There's too many. There's 10 of those. You got to pull yourself out to make those more powerful final solutions in the way we can create it ourselves. So appreciate all the different support and ideas that you guys can cultivate just through our experiences, just through the ways we have in our stuff we love to do, because this is kind of our content that we've got to create ourselves. We create these action signals to create these emotions that we can do this. We can cultivate our farm, small garden. We can create the flowers that we want to produce in other people. And I think it's very powerful when we understand these emotions, that we feel we are aware of them, that we know how to move out of those emotions and create solutions for ourselves first and others around us. We can be able to help each other and lift each other up in what we need to do to cultivate the success that we can create our own and not depend on anyone else. So I want to thank you, Layla, for allowing me to come out and share these emotions that I've been going through and learning about, to really cultivate a way, a solution to help more people get out of, these ruts that we get into and stay so focused on how we can help so many more women out there in our families and our lives to make a difference to others. I don't know if she can make it or if anybody else comes out. Maybe this one, Megan. I don't know if Layla's still on, but I want to take the opportunity to say, what you shared, and also kind of something that I kind of just had a light bulb go off in my head while you were sharing, because you had mentioned being angry, and how, Jesus was even angry, and how, he used that anger for good. And, you can have all these different emotions, right? But if you frame it so that you stir yourself up and use those emotions that maybe look at as negative for good, it's all about how you use those emotions, those feelings to fuel you. If you allow it to fuel you down a spiraling, path of depression, that's not good. But if you use it to fuel you to do something positive, the emotion then doesn't really take on that negative, the negative thing that we all look at it as. Like anger, people think about, oh, you're angry and it's negative and everything. But if you're angry about, some horrible thing that's happening in the world, and you use that anger to channel change, and you reach out and help someone, then the anger's not so bad. If you feel lonely and you say, well, hey, I've had some much needed me time, maybe I should go read a book. And then you can take that time and you go read a book, and then you get something out of that book, and you grow, and you can share, and you can help, So it's all about, we have these emotions, we know we're going to have them, we're going to feel them, there's no way around that. But then what do you do with them once you feel them? I think that's really what it is what do you do with the emotions? How do you cope with them? What is the result of you feeling these emotions? I think that's really the important part. I think that really those action emotions, that when you are aware that you have those, that you take action to get out of them because they're so awful. I'm so angry, and that's an action to move out of it, or why you had that emotion, because these are action emotions. Because the most powerful emotions I want to think of are what's called desire, faith, love, sex, enthusiasm, romance, and hope. And those are totally different from all these, action emotions that we feel, really truly feel, I think. When you feel that you have the passion to take action, to put it in a way that you want to cultivate and create for yourself. Yeah, awesome. Oh, yeah, I feel it, and I've been listening, and it's one of the most powerful lessons to learn was how to understand my emotions and to stop beating myself up for some of the emotions that I was experiencing, and realizing, I remember the first time I read, that book, and I realized that my emotions are action signals. They're telling me something. They're trying to signify and allow me to identify what's going on inside of me, so that I can either make changes, I can evolve, I can grow, and when you see it that way, these emotions that you experience, whether they're anger or frustration or lack of self-confidence or loneliness, all of this, when you see it as almost like a traffic signal in the street, and the traffic signal is either giving you a green light, go, a red light, stop, or a yellow light, slow down. So when I think about my emotions, and I think, okay, if I'm in a good place, I'm at this green light, right? I keep going, and then I hit a roadblock, and suddenly I get frustrated, or I get overwhelmed, and it's telling me to stop. I see this action signal of a red light at this intersection where I need to stop, and I need to make a decision. I need to make a choice, and I need to make a change. And do not progress until you change. Do not progress until you can actually take the things that you learned and you read and make an impact in your life. It's awesome. Yes, thank you, Layla. Awesome. Well, totally incredible. Thanks so much, Alecia, for coming out here and sharing that with everyone. I don't know, any other last words that you want to leave the women who are maybe dealing with some negative emotions as they see them, some action signals as we see them, on what they should do next? I think it's very powerful to, it's very, very powerful for me to really list it out and then look at, which one really am I really feeling? Because we could feel a couple of things at the same time with what they're feeling. And so if you can really focus on, okay, this is really frustrating right now. I'm going to just clarify and identify that it's frustrating. What can I learn from that? And figure out your solution from that feeling and that emotion that you have, and really press through and make that your own. So I think each one of the superwomen can really make a video or a content or blog piece or whatever. But this is the feeling that I felt right now when I was on this call, and I knew that I could identify with this feeling and why that was. And when you're able to figure out, I was really sitting here hurt because of the relationship that I was in, and I really felt loss of what to do or everything. And I found a solution that I really had to re-look at it again. What is it? A communicating feeling? Was I judging myself that I was hurt? Was it really a false perception? How did others look at me as that feeling that I was feeling? And find a solution. Everybody has a solution to cultivate your own and to get out of it. And when people see you clarify that you took ownership of that feeling and you were able to clarify that you created and you got out of it yourself, and looking at a solution. I've got powerful superwomen that were able to support me, that I identified that feeling and was able to get out of it because I have so much support that when you're moving forward in a direction that no one can really even see it yet, because we believe that it's so powerful that you can see how many lives are being changed the way that we see that we are moving, because it's a movement that you got to move forward to, and people will follow you in your movement when they see that you've moved out of that emotion to make it your own, cultivate, create your own success in it. So yes, emotion does. I love it. And when you think of it, like even the word emotion has the word motion in it. It's a movement. It's a step. It's a progress. It's an action. So it's awesome. Very, very, very good. Thank you so much, Alecia. And thanks to all the ladies that join us every day, that don't miss a call, that are here to just soak in the power of other women. Because I know that when you surround yourself with women like this in your life, magical things start to happen, things start to change, and you start to see the world in a different way. So if you're listening to this call for the first time and you're not plugged in and you're not on the inside, you're not in the community, you're not in the Facebook groups, you're not in the group camp, then you need to make sure you get back to the woman that invited you to this call today and say, hey, I want to plug into these women. I want to be a speaker. I want to make a change. I want this support in my life, because you will never be the same once you've had a taste of it. So thank you so much, ladies. I can't wait for the rest of this week's call. Make sure that you do not miss tomorrow at 1 p.m. Put it in your phone, put it in your calendar, set an alarm. Wherever you are, grocery store, Walmart, yoga class, I don't care. Put your headphones in and listen in to these incredible women. We'll see everybody tomorrow.